Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of wisdom, and those who listen closely to the whispers of the universe, I welcome you tonight with a message that cannot be ignored. This is not simply a call for attention, it is a warning, a reminder, and an invitation to prepare your heart and your mind. The title itself speaks with urgency. Must see this warning after new moon. What happens between August 27th to 29th could change everything. We live in a world where celestial movements are more than just distant spectacles. They are signals, alignments, and turning points in the flow of our lives. The new moon has already marked the beginning of a cycle. It has opened a portal of new beginnings, of hidden truths, and of subtle shifts in energy. But the days that follow, specifically between August 27th and August 29th, carry an intensity unlike anything we've felt in recent times. These dates are not ordinary, they are thresholds. They represent a span in which cosmic forces ripple into our earthly lives, influencing decisions, emotions, and events in ways that could alter the course of what lies ahead. Why is this period so crucial? Because it is in the days right after the new moon that the unseen becomes visible, and the seeds planted in silence begin to sprout. It is when what was hidden in darkness comes forward to meet the light. For some, this will mean opportunities, sudden clarity, breakthroughs, or new paths opening. For others, it could manifest as challenges, shadows rising, truths revealed, or emotional turbulence demanding healing. This is why the universe calls us to be awake, to be aware, to be ready. Imagine a door slowly creaking open, showing glimpses of the future. If you walk through with courage, you step into transformation. If you hesitate or ignore the signs, you may feel trapped in cycles of the past. Between August 27th and 29th, that door is opening. Each of us has a choice in how we respond. Will we rise with awareness, or will we sleep through the shift? History has shown us that great change often comes in quiet moments, not always in loud revolutions, but in the stillness when energies realign and hearts awaken. These few days could mark a turning point in relationships, in personal growth, and spiritual awakening, and even in the direction of communities and nations. The smallest decision made under this influence could ripple outward with immense effect. This warning is not meant to instill fear. It is meant to awaken vigilance, responsibility, and hope. When we know the tides are changing, we prepare our boats. When we know the storm is coming, we secure our homes. Likewise, when we know a window of transformation is opening, we ready our souls. Take these days to reflect, to meditate, to listen deeply to your intuition. Pay attention to dreams, to subtle signs, to inner nudges that guide you. The universe rarely shouts, it whispers, and only those who are listening can catch the message in time. As we stand on the edge of this celestial moment, let us not treat it as ordinary. Let us carry with us the humility to recognize that forces greater than us are at work. Let us walk with courage, knowing that change can be uncomfortable, but also profoundly necessary. And above all, let us move with faith, believing that what unfolds between August 27th and August 29th is not meant to break us, but to awaken us. The moon cycle is a teacher. It reminds us that darkness is not permanent, that silence gives birth to sound, that endings are simply disguised beginnings. If we honor this cycle, we can move with the rhythm of the cosmos instead of against it. And when we align, change does not scare us, it empowers us. So I leave you with this: pay close attention. These dates are not random, they are marked with significance. Between August 27th and 29th, pause long enough to feel the shift. Choose wisely, act consciously, and believe that the universe is guiding you. What happens in these days could change everything. The choice of how you receive that change lies in your hands.
Thank you. And
Would you like me to make this more spiritual and mystical with references to portals, energy shifts, and vibrations, or more practical, warning about personal choices, emotions, and global changes? Here are 7 keynotes for your speech title. 1. Post-new moon energy opens hidden opportunities and challenges. 2. August 27th to 29th is a window of transformation and awakening. 3. What is hidden may surface, truths, emotions, and decisions. 4. Small choices in these days may have lasting impact. 5. This is a time for reflection, meditation, and heightened awareness. 6. The shift is not to fear, but to embrace with courage and faith. 7. Alignment with cosmic rhythms brings empowerment and clarity. The new moon has always carried with it a sense of mystery, a quiet yet powerful energy that invites us to reset, to release, and to begin again. Unlike the brilliance of the full moon that shines with clarity and exposure, the new moon is shrouded in darkness, symbolizing potential that has not yet been illuminated. It represents the soil before the seed sprouts, the silence before the song begins, and the stillness before movement. But what many often overlook is that the energy of the new moon does not end on the day itself. It lingers, grows, and expands into the days that follow. This is why the period after the new moon, especially when connected to dates of heightened cosmic influence, such as August 27th to August 29th, becomes so crucial to understand and to harness. During this time, hidden opportunities and challenges rise to the surface, often catching us by surprise, but ultimately shaping the direction of our lives. Post-new moon energy functions much like the breaking of dawn after a long night. The light is not yet bright enough to see everything clearly, but it is strong enough to reveal the outlines of things we did not notice before. For some people, this manifests as sudden realizations or the unveiling of truths that were previously hidden. These truths could be internal, such as recognizing long suppressed emotions, discovering one's own strength, or facing a habit that no longer serves growth. They could also be external, such as uncovering hidden intentions of others, seeing opportunities in career or relationships that had gone unnoticed, or even experiencing synchronicities that guide us toward a new direction. The beauty of this time is that what emerges was always there. It was only concealed until the energy shifted enough to bring it to light. Yet, with this unveiling comes challenge. Not everything that surfaces during this phase is comfortable or pleasant. Just as the sprouting of a seed involves breaking through the soil, growth often requires discomfort. Some of the truths revealed after the new moon can stir emotional turbulence, forcing us to confront things we may have been avoiding. We might feel sudden tensions in relationships, unexpected difficulties in plans, or a sense of uncertainty that disrupts our usual flow. These challenges are not punishments, they are invitations. The universe, through its rhythms, is calling us to pay attention, to realign, and to transform. The challenge is a mirror, showing us where we are still clinging to old patterns or resisting change. For those who remain aware, this post-new moon energy can be an extraordinary gift. The opportunities that arise are often subtle but deeply significant. A conversation may spark an idea, a chance encounter may open a door, or a moment of solitude may give rise to a vision of what lies ahead. Because the new moon's energy is linked to beginnings, the days that follow are infused with possibility. This is the time to set intentions with clarity, to focus on what we wish to grow in our lives, and to pay attention to the small signs that point us in the right direction. What we notice and act upon during this window has the potential to expand far beyond what we imagine, like a seed growing into a mighty tree. However, one must approach this energy with awareness. If we sleepwalk through these days, ignoring the signs, dismissing the challenges, or failing to seize the opportunities, we risk losing the momentum the universe offers us. The days after the new moon are like a tide. If we align with it, we can ride smoothly to new shores. If we resist or neglect it, we may feel tossed around by currents of confusion and miss chances. This is why it is often said that intention and awareness are the keys during this phase. By being conscious of our thoughts, words, and actions, we align ourselves with the unfolding energy rather than working against it. It is also important to note that this energy does not act in isolation. The cosmos works in harmony with planets, stars, and lunar cycles, weaving together a tapestry of influence. Between August 27th and August 29th, this weaving becomes particularly significant. The days immediately following the new moon open a corridor for manifestation, and whatever seeds of thought or emotion we carry during this period are more likely to root deeply. This means we must be mindful of what we focus on. Dwelling on fear, resentment, or negativity can amplify those very energies. But directing our attention to growth, healing, and purpose can magnify those qualities instead. Ultimately, post-new moon energy is a reminder that life is cyclical. Just as night follows day and seasons turn without fail, so too do endings give birth to beginnings. The days that follow the new moon remind us that even in darkness, potential is alive and waiting. The opportunities and challenges that surface during this phase are not accidents, they are part of the grand rhythm of the universe. How we engage with them determines whether we simply endure the cycle or actively grow within it. By listening, by staying present, and by courageously facing what arises, we step into alignment with the energy that seeks not to harm us, but to awaken us. And in that awakening, we find the chance to change everything. Between August 27th and August 29th lies a stretch of time that carries a rare intensity, a period that many would overlook as just ordinary days, but which, in truth, holds the potential to reshape paths, awaken minds, and shift the energy that surrounds us. These dates are not random. They fall within the delicate window after the new moon, when cosmic currents are particularly active, when the unseen and the seen begin to weave together, and when transformation moves closer to reality. To call this a window of transformation and awakening is not poetic exaggeration. It is a reflection of how energy naturally unfolds, urging humanity to pay attention, to pause, and to recognize the opportunities and challenges unfolding before them. The human experience is constantly intertwined with celestial cycles, whether or not we consciously acknowledge them. The moon, in its phases, reflects to us the cycles of our own lives. After the emptiness of the new moon, when the sky is bare and the future feels uncertain, the days that follow hold the energy of emergence. Just as a tiny crescent appears after days of darkness, so too does new energy begin to reveal itself in our lives. Between August 27th and 29th, this emergence is heightened, acting almost like a magnifying glass on what we are feeling, thinking, or seeking. It is a time when the universe offers a chance to reset and reimagine, but only for those who are awake enough to notice. Transformation does not come without inner stirring. These days may bring about moments that challenge one's perspective, forcing a shift away from old patterns of thought or outdated ways of living. Sometimes this can feel unsettling, as if life is pushing us into situations we are not fully ready to face. But that is the essence of awakening. It is rarely comfortable, because it requires us to grow beyond the limitations of what we already know. What happens between August 27th and 29th may appear subtle on the surface, like a decision made in haste, a conversation that seems ordinary, or an unexpected feeling that rises from deep within. Yet these seemingly small sparks can ignite long-term transformation, creating ripples that carry forward into weeks, months, and even years. Awakening also manifests in heightened awareness. During this window, people may feel more attuned to their intuition, sensing connections and meanings in events that would otherwise pass unnoticed. Dreams might feel more vivid, synchronicities may appear more often, and a sense of being guided could become more pronounced. For some, this may be the beginning of realizing that life is more interconnected than they previously believed, that the universe communicates through symbols, signs, and subtle nudges. For others, this awakening could bring clarity about personal relationships, career directions, or spiritual paths, offering insight into what truly matters and what must be released. The intensity of these days also lies in their ability to accelerate what has been stagnant. Many people carry unresolved emotions, unspoken truths, or unfulfilled desires that linger in the background of their lives. When the energy of transformation flows strongly, as it does in this period, those hidden layers tend to surface. While this can feel overwhelming, it is also an opportunity for cleansing. Confronting these truths may open the door to forgiveness, release, and liberation from the burdens of the past. Awakening is not just about seeing more. It is about releasing what no longer serves us so we can step into alignment with what does. Transformation and awakening are not meant to be abstract ideas reserved for mystics or dreamers. They touch the practical aspects of life. Between August 27th and 29th, someone may feel pushed to finally make a decision they've avoided, whether in love, work, or personal growth. Another may find that circumstances change abruptly, creating the necessity for adaptability. Others may feel an inner pull to deepen their spiritual practice, to reconnect with nature, or to spend time in quiet reflection. All of these experiences share a common thread. They move us closer to authenticity, closer to a version of ourselves that is more aligned with truth rather than illusion. There is also a collective element to this window. Transformation is not only personal but shared. Just as tides shift under the moon's pull, so too can communities, nations, and even global energies feel the stirrings of change. Between these dates, we may notice news or events that seem to carry unusual weight, or conversations in society that open doors to deeper reflection. Awakening on a collective level often begins with a few individuals listening closely and then rippling outward into greater movements of thought and action. This is why personal alignment during this time is so crucial. It contributes to the larger fabric of awakening for all. Ultimately, the days between August 27th and 29th remind us that change is not a distant concept, but a living reality that unfolds with every choice, every awareness, every breath. Transformation is not always dramatic or explosive. It can be quiet, subtle, and deeply personal. Awakening may not mean sudden enlightenment, but rather the gradual recognition of truth, moment by moment. When we honor this window, we allow ourselves to become active participants in the unfolding of life, rather than passive observers. The universe is offering a gift in this brief span of time, the gift of clarity, the gift of release, the gift of vision for the path ahead. Whether we embrace it with open hearts or let it slip by unnoticed is entirely our choice. But if we listen, if we reflect, if we move with courage, then August 27th to 29th can indeed mark a threshold where transformation deepens and awakening begins to shape not just the days to come, but the very essence of who we are becoming. What is hidden may surface in the days following the new moon, and this is one of the most powerful yet unsettling aspects of this cycle. The new moon is often described as a time of darkness, not because it is ominous, but because it represents the unseen, the dormant, and the potential waiting quietly beneath the surface. When the light begins to return in the days after, what was concealed in that darkness often emerges, sometimes gently, sometimes suddenly, but always with a purpose. Between August 27th and 29th, this energy becomes especially active, and the truths, emotions, and decisions that rise during this time can feel life-changing. It is a period when veils lift, illusions break, and the reality of what has been hidden becomes impossible to ignore. The surfacing of hidden truths can take many forms. On an internal level, a person may begin to feel emotions they had buried long ago, such as grief, anger, or longing. These feelings may not appear randomly. They often rise because the energy of the moon and the cosmos supports cleansing and transformation. When such emotions surface, they provide a chance for healing. Though at first they may feel overwhelming, a sudden flood of memories, realizations about past choices, or awareness of unexpressed desires may wash over someone during this time, urging them to finally face what they have been avoiding. In this sense, the energy is like a mirror reflecting back what has been ignored but needs attention. On an external level, hidden circumstances may also begin to reveal themselves. Secrets that were kept, whether in personal relationships, professional settings, or even within families, can come to light in unexpected ways. Conversations may open doors to truths that were long suppressed, or events may unfold that reveal the intentions and character of others more clearly. Though these revelations can be shocking or uncomfortable, they serve as catalysts for change. The universe does not reveal hidden things to harm us, but to liberate us from illusions that keep us stagnant. Truth, no matter how difficult, provides a foundation upon which authentic growth can occur. Decisions also rise to the surface during this time, and they often do so with urgency. When hidden truths or emotions come forward, they demand response. A person may suddenly feel pushed to decide whether to continue in a relationship, to pursue a new opportunity, or to release an old habit that no longer aligns with their path. These decisions may feel heavy, as if the weight of destiny rests upon them, but they are also empowering. They remind us that even though the universe provides signs and reveals truths, we remain co-creators of our own journey. What surfaces does not dictate our fate, it simply offers clarity so that we can choose more wisely. The surfacing of hidden things during this period can also stir collective awareness. It is not uncommon for world events or societal issues to come into sharper focus during such energetic shifts. What was hidden from the public eye may suddenly be revealed, whether through news, revelations, or sudden turning points. This collective unveiling mirrors the individual process, reminding us that humanity as a whole undergoes cycles of truth and transformation. Just as individuals are urged to face their shadows, societies too must confront what has been buried if progress is to be made. While the surfacing of hidden truths can be unsettling, it is important to approach this time with openness rather than resistance. Resisting what comes forward often intensifies discomfort, while acceptance allows for integration and healing. For example, if old emotional wounds arise, it is an invitation to finally give them the attention and compassion they deserve, instead of pushing them back into the shadows. If secrets are revealed, it is an opportunity to build honesty, integrity, and trust, even if it means letting go of what no longer serves us. If decisions press upon us, it is a call to step into responsibility and courage, trusting that the choices made now can set the tone for the future. This process is rarely easy. To face what is hidden requires vulnerability, honesty, and strength. Yet it is through this process that the greatest transformations occur. The surfacing of truth, emotions, and decisions clears space for authenticity. It allows us to shed layers of illusion and step closer to the core of who we really are. The discomfort of exposure is temporary, but the liberation that follows is lasting. Between August 27th and 29th, the invitation is clear. Pay attention to what rises within and around you. Notice the emotions that surface, the truths that emerge, and the decisions that beckon. Even if they feel challenging, they are not appearing by accident. They are aligned with the natural rhythm of the cosmos, urging you to face them so that you may step forward with greater clarity and alignment. What was hidden may no longer remain in the shadows, and though that may feel daunting, it is ultimately a gift of truth, a gift of awareness, and a gift of transformation. Small choices made in powerful moments often carry weight far beyond what we imagine at the time, and the period between August 27th and 29th embodies this truth in a profound way. During this window, the energy that surrounds us is heightened, magnifying the impact of decisions, thoughts, and actions. What may seem like an ordinary choice, a passing word, or a subtle shift in perspective could create ripples that extend far into the future. This is not to suggest that every small action suddenly becomes a matter of destiny, but rather that the alignment of cosmic energy during this time makes even the smallest choices more potent, setting in motion currents that influence the direction of our journey. The universe operates much like a web, with each action, thought, and intention weaving into the fabric of what comes next. Often, people underestimate the significance of what they do on a daily basis, focusing only on large milestones or major turning points. Yet it is the accumulation of small, seemingly insignificant choices that shapes the flow of life. The period after the new moon, particularly in this concentrated window of August 27th to 29th, amplifies this principle. It is as though the veil between intention and manifestation becomes thinner, allowing our choices to solidify more quickly into reality. A decision made with awareness during this time can lead to opportunities, healing, or growth. Conversely, careless or unconscious actions may set patterns that create challenges later. This is why attention and mindfulness are so vital in these days. Something as simple as deciding to speak honestly in a conversation, to forgive a long-held resentment, or to pursue a long-postponed idea can take on greater power now. The energy of renewal and awakening that follows the new moon supports beginnings and breakthroughs, so the choices made within this flow are often carried further than they would be at other times. What seems like a small yes or no can create a fork in the road, guiding us onto paths we may not have anticipated. At the same time, choices are not limited to external actions. Internal choices, the decisions we make within our minds and hearts, are equally influential. Choosing to shift from fear to courage, from doubt to trust, or from anger to compassion plants seeds that will grow over time. The energy of this period nourishes those seeds more readily, so an inner choice made now can strengthen into a lasting change in perspective. Many people underestimate the transformative power of inner decisions because they do not produce immediate visible results, but in truth, these subtle shifts often carry the deepest and most enduring consequences. What makes this period unique is not just the amplification of choices, but also the clarity it brings. When hidden truths and emotions rise, as they often do after a new moon, the decisions before us become clearer. We may suddenly recognize what we must release or which path resonates with our authentic selves. These realizations can push us toward making choices that we had been avoiding or delaying. Though the choices may appear small, ending a draining habit, reaching out to someone important, committing to self-care, or speaking a long silenced truth, they can create lasting transformation because they align with the deeper currents of energy moving through this time. There is also a lesson here in responsibility. When choices carry more weight, we are called to take greater care in how we act. Words spoken in haste can cut more deeply, actions made without thought can create unintended consequences, and decisions fueled by fear rather than clarity can bind us to cycles we later wish to escape. Yet on the other hand, mindful words can heal wounds, intentional actions can open doors, and courageous choices can lead to liberation. This heightened energy does not discriminate, it magnifies whatever is put into it. That is why awareness is so crucial during these days. Collectively, these small choices also add up to shape the broader story of humanity. Between August 27th and 29th, when individuals across the world are experiencing similar energetic influences, the combined effect of their decisions can ripple outward into society. A wave of people choosing kindness, integrity, or courage during this window can contribute to collective healing and growth. Similarly, a wave of choices rooted in fear or division can reinforce the shadows humanity seeks to outgrow. Each individual choice matters not only for the self, but for the collective whole. In reflecting on this, it becomes clear that the seemingly ordinary is never truly ordinary. Life is built not on grand gestures alone, but on countless small acts and decisions woven together. The energy of this period reminds us of that truth with urgency and clarity. What we choose to do, to say, to feel, and to believe between August 27th and 29th could very well ripple outward into the fabric of our lives in ways we cannot yet imagine. In the end, the message is simple but powerful. Be present, be intentional, and be courageous. Do not dismiss the small choices you make during this time, for they may carry more weight than you realize. The universe is listening, the energy is amplifying, and every step you take is shaping the path ahead. What seems minor today could become the turning point tomorrow, and what you choose in these days could indeed change everything. The days that follow a new moon are often marked by a subtle yet powerful shift in energy, a shift that encourages us to slow down, to look inward, and to listen more carefully to the whispers of our own soul. Between August 27th and 29th, this call becomes stronger, and it is during this window that reflection, meditation, and heightened awareness are most necessary. The cosmos is not simply placing us under a random set of influences, it is inviting us to step into a deeper relationship with ourselves and with the unfolding of life. This is a time to pause, to breathe, and to recognize that the energy around us is primed for clarity and transformation, but only if we are conscious enough to engage with it. Reflection in this period takes on a different depth than usual. It is not about casually thinking over the day's events, but about sincerely examining the paths we have walked and the patterns we continue to live by. After the new moon, truths that were hidden begin to surface, and reflection allows us to process them rather than being overwhelmed by them. Questions naturally arise in this time. What habits am I holding on to that no longer serve me? What emotions have I been carrying that weigh me down? What intentions do I want to set for the days ahead? By sitting with these questions and giving them space, we create the opportunity for answers to reveal themselves. Reflection becomes a tool for alignment, helping us see where we are out of sync with our higher selves and where we can take gentle yet powerful steps forward. Meditation deepens this process by creating stillness amidst the energy of change. The post-new moon period often brings heightened sensitivity, and without grounding, this sensitivity can feel overwhelming. Meditation provides a sanctuary, a way to center ourselves so that we can hear our intuition more clearly. In these days, meditation is not about escaping from reality, but about tuning into the subtler layers of it. By closing our eyes, quieting the chatter of the mind, and turning inward, we can perceive the quiet guidance of the universe more easily. Even just a few moments of mindful breathing or sitting in silence can reveal insights that were hidden in the busyness of everyday life. During August 27th to 29th, meditation allows us to access the clarity we need to understand the truths and choices that are surfacing. Heightened awareness is another gift of this window, though it requires practice and attention to truly embrace it. Awareness is about being present in each moment and noticing what we might otherwise overlook. In these days, synchronicities may become more common, seemingly random events or signs that point us toward the right path. Awareness allows us to recognize these signs, to trust them, and to follow them. It also allows us to catch ourselves in old patterns before we repeat them. For example, if we notice a familiar emotion rising during this time, perhaps impatience, doubt, or resentment, we can pause and choose a new response instead of falling into the same cycle. This level of awareness turns ordinary experiences into opportunities for transformation. Engaging in reflection, meditation, and awareness during this period is not simply about personal growth, but also about creating alignment with the greater flow of the universe. The moon cycles remind us that everything in life moves through phases of darkness and light, silence and expression, endings and beginnings. By participating consciously in this cycle, we allow ourselves to grow in harmony with it. This harmony brings a sense of peace, even amidst change, because we no longer resist the natural ebb and flow, but instead move with it. It is important to remember that awareness does not mean forcing ourselves to have all the answers. Sometimes reflection uncovers more questions, meditation reveals only fragments of insight, and awareness brings us face to face with discomfort. Yet even these experiences are valuable because they remind us that growth is not about perfection, but about presence. The act of showing up, of sitting quietly with ourselves, of paying attention to the energy within and around us, is itself a powerful practice. It allows us to see more clearly where we stand and to take more intentional steps forward. During August 27th to 29th, the universe is offering a mirror. Reflection shows us what is within, meditation gives us the clarity to process it, and awareness ensures we do not miss the signs pointing us toward growth. These practices together create a pathway to transformation, helping us navigate the energy of this period with grace rather than confusion. The gift of this time lies not in grand revelations or dramatic shifts alone, but in the quiet, steady practices that anchor us to our true selves. When we honor this call to reflect, meditate, and remain aware, we align ourselves with a rhythm far greater than our own. We begin to see that life is not random but purposeful, that change is not to be feared but embraced, and that within the silence of our own hearts lies the guidance we most need. Between August 27th and 29th, we are invited to listen deeply to ourselves, to the universe, and to the wisdom that arises when we give ourselves the space to be still. In doing so, we open the door not only to clarity, but to a more authentic and awakened way of living. The days following the new moon are not meant to bring fear or dread, though many people feel unsettled when the energy intensifies. Instead, these days, particularly between August 27th and 29th, carry with them an invitation to embrace change with courage and faith. Change is a constant in life, but when cosmic energies align in such a way that transformation is heightened, it can feel overwhelming, even threatening. Yet the truth is that these shifts are not meant to harm us. They are meant to open doors, to clear away illusions, and to guide us into greater alignment with our true selves. Fear clouds the mind and makes change feel like loss, but faith and courage reveal it for what it truly is, a doorway into new possibilities. Many of us instinctively resist change because it disrupts the familiar. Even when the familiar is painful, it offers a sense of comfort because we know it well. The energy of late August, however, does not allow us to stay comfortably stagnant. It pushes us forward, sometimes gently, sometimes with force, into the unknown. This is why fear often arises in these times, because the unknown feels unsafe. We do not yet see the outcomes, and so we imagine the worst. But courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite fear. To embrace this window of transformation with courage is to trust that the unknown holds not just uncertainty, but also opportunity. It is to believe that stepping out of the familiar is necessary for growth. Faith plays an equally important role. Faith is not blind optimism, but a deep trust in the rhythm of life and the wisdom of the universe. The cycles of the moon remind us that darkness is always followed by light, silence always gives way to sound, and endings always lead to beginnings. To carry faith during this time is to trust that whatever surfaces, whether truths, emotions, or choices, is appearing for a reason. It is to recognize that the universe does not conspire to break us, but to awaken us, even if the process feels uncomfortable. Faith helps us release control and accept that some answers will not appear immediately, but will unfold with time. Between August 27th and 29th, situations may arise that test our ability to remain grounded. Old wounds may resurface, relationships may face tension, or circumstances may shift in ways that unsettle our plans. In these moments, fear will whisper that everything is falling apart, but courage and faith whisper something different, that things are actually falling into place. What appears as disruption may in fact be clearing the path for something greater. What feels like loss may be creating space for something more aligned. To hold courage and faith is to reframe the experience, to see the challenge not as an enemy, but as a teacher. It is important to remember that courage does not always mean bold, dramatic action. Sometimes courage is simply choosing to face the truth, to sit with discomfort instead of avoiding it, or to take one small step in a new direction. Faith, too, is not always about grand declarations. It can be found in quiet practices, pausing to breathe, trusting one's intuition, or choosing kindness even when fear tempts us toward anger or withdrawal. These small acts of courage and faith become powerful when amplified by the energy of this time, carrying us forward with greater strength than we realize. The tides and move the planets are present in us, shaping our journeys. To align with these forces is to release the illusion of isolation and to embrace a sense of unity. This awareness empowers us because it lifts the burden of believing we must control everything on our own. Instead, we recognize that by listening, trusting, and aligning, we can work with the universe rather than against it. Collectively, alignment with cosmic rhythms is just as important. When groups of people align with awareness, compassion, and courage during powerful windows like this, the ripple effect spreads outward into communities and societies. Harmony within individuals creates harmony in the collective, while resistance and fear create discord. Between August 27th and 29th, the opportunity exists not just for personal empowerment and clarity, but for collective awakening. If many choose to align, the energy can inspire movements of healing, cooperation, and progress that extend far beyond this brief window of time. Ultimately, alignment with cosmic rhythms is about surrender and trust. It is about recognizing that life does not always unfold according to our personal timelines, but according to greater cycles of growth and release. This surrender does not mean passivity. It means acting with awareness, choosing with intention, and flowing with the energy that supports us rather than resisting it. Between August 27th and 29th, this alignment offers us empowerment and clarity, reminding us that we are co-creators of our own lives. By aligning, we place ourselves in the flow of transformation, where change no longer feels threatening but becomes a natural expression of growth. In this way, the days after the new moon are not just dates on a calendar, but powerful thresholds. To align with them is to step into a rhythm that connects us with the universe itself, a rhythm that empowers us to live with greater clarity, authenticity, and purpose. What we choose in this time and how we align with it will echo into the days and months ahead, reminding us that when we live in harmony with cosmic rhythms, everything begins to fall beautifully into place. In conclusion, the days following the new moon between August 27th and 29th are not ordinary moments, but a gateway into transformation, awareness, and alignment with the deeper rhythms of life. The universe is calling us to pause, to listen, and to attune ourselves to the flow that is already guiding us toward growth and clarity. If we choose to resist, we may feel confusion or heaviness, but if we choose to align, we step into empowerment and a sense of purpose that makes even small steps forward feel meaningful. This is not a warning meant to frighten, but a reminder to awaken, to recognize that within these days lies an invitation to co-create with the universe. By embracing courage, reflection, and trust, we can turn this window of time into a foundation for lasting change. The question is not whether the energy will shift, but whether we will rise to meet it in harmony. If we do, these days will not just pass. The tides and move the planets are present in us, shaping our journeys. To align with these forces is to release the illusion of isolation and to embrace a sense of unity. This awareness empowers us because it lifts the burden of believing we must control everything on our own. Instead, we recognize that by listening, trusting, and aligning, we can work with the universe rather than against it. Collectively, alignment with cosmic rhythms is just as important. When groups of people align with awareness, compassion, and courage during powerful windows like this, the ripple effect spreads outward into communities and societies. Harmony within individuals creates harmony in the collective, while resistance and fear create discord. Between August 27th and 29th, the opportunity exists not just for personal empowerment and clarity, but for collective awakening. If many choose to align, the energy can inspire movements of healing, cooperation, and progress that extend far beyond this brief window of time. Ultimately, alignment with cosmic rhythms is about surrender and trust. It is about recognizing that life does not always unfold according to our personal timelines, but according to greater cycles of growth and release. This surrender does not mean passivity. It means acting with awareness, choosing with intention, and flowing with the energy that supports us rather than resisting it. Between August 27th and 29th, this alignment offers us empowerment and clarity, reminding us that we are co-creators of our own lives. By aligning, we place ourselves in the flow of transformation, where change no longer feels threatening but becomes a natural expression of growth. In this way, the days after the new moon are not just dates on a calendar, but powerful thresholds. To align with them is to step into a rhythm that connects us with the universe itself, a rhythm that empowers us to live with greater clarity, authenticity, and purpose. What we choose in this time and how we align with it will echo into the days and months ahead, reminding us that when we live in harmony with cosmic rhythms, everything begins to fall beautifully into place. In conclusion, the days following the new moon between August 27th and 29th are not ordinary moments, but a gateway into transformation, awareness, and alignment with the deeper rhythms of life. The universe is calling us to pause, to listen, and to attune ourselves to the flow that is already guiding us toward growth and clarity. If we choose to resist, we may feel confusion or heaviness, but if we choose to align, we step into empowerment and a sense of purpose that makes even small steps forward feel meaningful. This is not a warning meant to frighten, but a reminder to awaken, to recognize that within these days lies an invitation to co-create with the universe. By embracing courage, reflection, and trust, we can turn this window of time into a foundation for lasting change. The question is not whether the energy will shift, but whether we will rise to meet it in harmony. If we do, these days will not just pass.